rubbish.
Your turn, then. You do it better. Loading a gun.
Yeah, I can't do it. You get it.
Oh!
Ooh!
When was that, the Netflix intro? That's fancy.
I wish that was still the Netflix intro. I wish everyone could have seen your face with that.
Alright, this week we are talking about Netflix films.
Netflix.
Didn't say Netflix original.
Original films.
It's weird because it says Netflix originals in the category on their website, but when I looked at the films, it just says Netflix really small in the corner
They're
in
not
red.
Netflix original.
But what?
Not all of them.
No, but what is considered a Netflix original film? Because
I don't know.
Because they don't. It's not like Netflix is behind the camera. It's just people with red Netflix tattooed on their head.
They are
filmmakers. They are. You're right, actually. Think about that. Most importantly, we're talking about Annihilation.
Mm-hmm.
Since in the UK it has gone straight to Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was on the 15th it came out, so we were about a week behind. Shut up, we don't care. Whereas in America, it's Shark, we don't care. In America, it went to the box office. You said you'd rather watch it in the cinema.
At the cinema, I think it's a shame. It's so beautiful. I would have rather seen it
in the IMAX.
Yes.
Some of the sound effects in the IMAX would have been nice.
It would have been amazing. I just
Would have shit you right up.
Pretty gutted. Yeah, it would have actually. Oh my god, yeah, some of that. See, I think that would have been
good in the cinema.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
A real experience.
But same about being in theatres. In America, no, it's a bloody car. In America, it went to box office, and I don't think it's doing very well.
Is it not?
I don't think it's doing very well.
Do you know that, or are you just?
I'm pretty sure it's
guessing.
doing very well. I have a feeling.
I made sure.
I'm pretty sure. No, I'm sure I saw something that said it's not doing very well. That's the main one this week. So, should we do our review of Annihilation to start with? Should we do that first? And then talk about other Netflix films we've watched and what to avoid and what to watch on there, because they've started doing bigger films now, which we get into, and it's all messy and you can't trust everything just because it's got the Netflix word written across it.
No, you can't. No, you cannot.
So, Annihilation.
What are you doing?
It's the last resort song. When I say Annihilation, it makes you think of it.
Oh, right, yeah.
But I don't think it says Annihilation.
I see.
Yeah. Anyway.
Put that tube down.
Why?
Because it's making noises on my mic. My mic.
Would you like to start off?
Would I like to start? No.
Alright, let's talk about... Oh, tired.
I'm tired
I'm going
too.
to sleep. Let's talk about the narrative first of this film.
Okay.
First and foremost, it is based on a novel.
Yeah.
Or a trilogy.
I don't think I knew until after.
I think I knew.
I don't think either of us knew.
No, but I said to you after film, I wonder if there's a sequel to the book. So I did know, because I said to you, do you reckon there's a sequel to the book?
Oh, right, yeah. I didn't know if you just looked it up.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, which is interesting. In the same way that this film reminds me a little bit of Arrival. I'm not trying to say it's exactly the same, it's very different, but it does remind me a little bit of it. The way it uses a sci-fi concept and tries to be a bit more smart about it.
Yeah.
In a sense where it's like, whereas Arrival was like, a language, and then this is sort of like, but actually.
Well, and also she's
it was like cells.
Yeah, and also she's like an academic, and is sort of, well, not recruited.
Who somehow got to go on this job.
She recruits herself, I know, but it feels like that kind of isolated academic that has to go on a mission to sort of. The
relationship she has with her partner feels very Arrival-y in terms of. I know in Arrival she's not. Well, I won't go as far as, but in Arrival obviously she has a daughter.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. It feels quite similar to it. As well, just the choice I think using Natalie Dortmund, Natalie Portman.
Natalie Dormer Portman. Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it just yeah.
What you don't like that they did?
I have no issue that did.
You what?
At all. I think it's fine they
you have
picked
no
her.
issue.
I think that they could have. I don't know. I don't think she stands out from a crowd because it's Natalie Portman. I also think I don't always love Natalie Portman anyway. Like I said, she's done some. Well, she was Padme for Christ's sake. And that was horrendous. But also, like I said, there's just other stuff.
Yeah,
Anyway.
She's done some amazing stuff though.
Yeah, she has, but yeah, I don't know. No, it was alright. I think they did like Arrival, which was nice, is they didn't like cover her and make her, but they didn't make her look, like you said about being an academic, they made her feel like an academic instead of being like with loads of makeup layers.
Yeah.
And tried to make a little action hero.
You're kidding me with the owl now. I feel like everyone's against this recording today.
Just laughing at us.
Trying to get in our podcast.
Yeah, so the plot's it's based on a novel, and apparently the end actually divides off from the end of the novel. I just saw as well the ending ends a different little. It ends a bit different. Why are we doing this? We haven't even said non-spoiler. We should say spoiler free and give a synopsis of it, which is if you like alien stuff, go watch this.
Yeah.
Now, if you like smart sci-fi, go watch this. If you liked Ex Machina, go watch this 'cause it's the same guy, Alex Garland.
Yeah.
If you liked Arrival, go and watch this because it's got such a Arrival.
Yeah.
And it's
It
on.
is and it isn't. It doesn't feel.
It's not similar in the sense
did,
that.
but it doesn't feel.
No, I mean in the sense that if you liked Arrival, you'll probably like this because it's the same kind of. It's a very different concept, but I mean in terms of style and how it's executed, it feels similar to Arrival.
And it's all unknown as well. You don't know what they're gonna discover, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, unless you've seen.
We didn't in Arrival either.
No, annoyingly though, Netflix's pictures for this are really annoyingly a bit spoilery.
They are a little.
Which
I always try and if I'm gonna watch something on Netflix, though, as soon as I click onto it, because now that it does that trailery thing, it seems to be like the biggest amount of spoilers they can fit into like a 30-second gap. So I try and skip off it just as quick as I can to make sure I don't see anything.
Yes, which makes sense. Should we just go into spoilers?
Yeah.
I can't really talk about much else than that. It's good. Go watch it. It's good. There's no kind of like, oh, who's winners? Just go watch it if you want to go watch some good sci-fi, some meaty sci-fi. Spoilers.
That was horrible. That was so. I didn't like anything about that. It scared me so much. I didn't know what was happening. I was like looking in terror. It just your face looked so scary. It didn't even look like you.
Should have stopped me. Don't fucking cry on this podcast.
Okay.
Alright. Narrative. Don't say about narrative, do you? I don't like this whole like typical thing of it just so happens it was her husband that the plot was centered around and it just so happens.
It just so happens.
Okay, so the husband thing makes sense, but then it just so happens she's the one to survive to the end, and it just so happens as the one that was married to him that survived to the end, elected herself for this mission.
But it's not. But there was a whole reason why that happened.
What do you mean?
Because that was the whole thing, was that she had a reason to come back. No, she had a reason to come back. They made that a very big point.
Yeah, still. But the whole thing, if it was just her husband coming back, if there's one person, okay, well then it's more like what are the chances that the one person who's ever come back out of the shimmer, as it was called, was her husband. Like the whole her surviving to the end makes sense then because she's the only one who had something to come back for. Yeah. But what are the chances that only her husband was the one that got replicated and came back through? You could have had like a few guys come back through or a few duplicates come back through instead of it just being her husband. I know she went through because of her husband, but even if a few people had come out and one was her husband, she'd still go in there because it was her husband. It just wouldn't mean that the only one centre point would have been her husband. Oh, okay. It's fine. It just like I said, just kind of that typical kind of thing. It just so happens that it's just him that came back.
If they were the main characters and you'd started watching them like from before he went away and stuff, and then he was the only one that survived, I'd totally agree with you. But the only reason the story follows her is because he's the only one that ever came out. And but
it would still work if other people came back out. But
I don't think if her husband came out and a few others came out, I think she would have just stayed with her husband. I think she only goes in because he's the only one that comes out and he's dying. So she's like, I've got to go in and I need to save him.
Because he's dying. But what if they all came out and they were dying and one of them was her husband? Do you get what I mean? It'd still work if there was a group of them. It really isn't a massive point anyway. But it's just me being picky. But But it's the whole cinematic thing. It took me out of it a little bit with that. It just does, because it kind of feels like it's that kind of like, not typically like, it's very much set up that it's her that has the reason to go in, and it's and she and very much for the story, she was never the idiot and someone else told her how to do it. She was like in Tomb Raider, which we'll get into. It always has to be the main character who has to go, wait a second, this is what's happening. Couldn't it have been like from the minute they went in there, they all had their sort of characters, and they never broke the boundaries of those characters. So the one who they had to make a lesbian, like we said, very much never didn't be out of her. She was very much do you get what I mean? She never kind of was the one to figure something out, and I think they had that like idea from the start.
I think I did what I meant to say before. I think what was interesting with her is that she sort of went in all like, like bring it on kind of stuff, but then she sort of seemed like the first one to get quite scared. So actually, I think she was probably one of the ones that did break her character a little bit, because at first she seemed like she was the one that was gonna be like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But she was like one of the first ones to be like, oh no, this isn't.
It's not even like, and I'm not trying to like discipline. I was just saying, I think it was more because I'm just like, and I agree with that. But they all kind of felt like one-dimensional characters. That they all did kind of. When the first one went, I was like, well, she was obviously going to be the first to go. She's barely spoken. Like there are good scenes of dialogue with them, but they never break.
Sorry, I'm just disagreeing with you over and over. I'm so sorry. She spoke to her the most, though, I think.
What, the one that died first? They spoke on the boat. I don't know if they spoke other than that, did
But she hadn't really had an interaction like that with anyone else.
Not like the one that Boeing is. But then the main... But the one that went... I don't know her name. The doctor... Oh, fuck. What was her name? Because I said about it's a Ventress. Ventress. So the one who's sort of leading the expedition.
Yeah.
Like, she was constantly, like, not helping and kind of, like, being a bit miserable.
Yeah, it's like she just wanted to get to the lighthouse, and that was kind of it. She didn't really care about anything else.
But I don't buy that, because she's leading the expedition. I don't think she'd be like... Do you get what I kind of mean? They just kind of did... They didn't ever want to do one thing where you were like, oh shit, I didn't expect them to do that. Other than, like you said, it seemed like you said the one who was like gun-toting kind of did get a bit more afraid. But yeah, I don't know. And then, like I said, it felt like just like Natalie Portman was doing every like discovery and... Yeah, I don't know. But it's just the characters I felt a bit like with, because I never was surprised by their actions.
No, I know what you mean.
And like I said, the whole way through, it felt like Natalie Portman was in charge of it all, was like the integral character, which I get she is the main character. But I feel like the thing, if you're doing like a group, if there's a group
I
cast,
agree with you
ensemble,
on that. It was kind of annoying that every time, like she suddenly felt kind of like the leader, and I don't know. It's hard because I was saying like, oh, it's annoying because she kept sort of discovering things and working things out, but she was doing that because that was like that's kind of what she does for a living. But
what did she say she did for a living? So she used to be a soldier.
Yeah, she's a scientist, but the lesson she was somebody's talking about her. The lesson she was teaching at the start was she was talking about cancer cells and how cells divide up and make like, which
I just say is quite funny because you can't have a lesson in a film without it being relevant to the
I know, to the plot.
Just so happens to teach what ends up happening in the film.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah. God, I just trashed the shit. I didn't even dislike the film at all.
And you quite like this one. What did you like about it?
What did I like about it? Well, I mean, it's a shame because I like the stuff with the creatures, and I like a lot of the idea about the science of its cells, like the way they're duplicating, but then they're sort of like combining and everything sort of blurring. Like they said, it was like a prism, and everything was sort of the science. I'll be honest, didn't explain massively well. They said about the prism, I was like, oh okay, but they didn't go much into why it's all sort of mutating into each other. No. Which I was a bit like, I do not get the science to this. Maybe it's difficult to understand, but it didn't feel like it tried to explain it massively. It probably goes more into it in the book, which I can't remember what the book's called. Wait, no, it's called Annihilation.
No, it's called Annihilation.
Yeah. And I like the bits of the creatures, not just because they were frillery, but the way they were done really well, which is nice to have in there with the science. So the creature that's like a fucking half bear, a bit human, a bit wailing spirit, was great.
That was one of my favourite bits.
Yeah, because it's really good, because especially because of the screaming made it, and the way it looked, like it was edited really well.
The creature was like something I hadn't seen before, because it looked sort of, as it came through, we were like, oh, it's a bear, and then we were like, oh my god, it looks a bit human. Oh, it looks a bit wolfy. Oh my god, it looks a bit like an ape, and it was like just this massive sort of like massive different things.
It looked different to what took the girl at the start. though. Was that the same thing?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think it looked more like a bear when it took her, and then...
Like Sirius Black when it took her. As a wolf.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, no, it might have, yeah. Yeah. But I think that's the whole point, is it's sort of meant to start taking on the DNA of other things, and obviously it had taken her, so it looked a bit more like human around the sort of face, and it had her voice and stuff. You know, was it in a video that we watched after where it said that they thought that it sort of recorded your last, like, moments and stuff?
I think they might say that in the film.
I didn't think that was what it was at all. I thought it was just taking on, like, I thought it was just like... Yeah, I thought it was just like replicating what I'd heard and like using it as almost like a bait kind of thing to.
But I don't get even that, because like, what creatures do that? Because obviously, I just thought all it was a part of hers mixed with it, because everything's mixing.
Yeah, so did I. But I almost thought, because when it screamed when it was outside, it sounded exactly like her before she died, and that's obviously why the other girl ran out and then got like.
Yeah.
Attacked by it.
That made it look like it was trying to trap.
Yeah, that made it look like it was trapping it. But I just thought it was sort of taking on what it had heard and sort of mimicking and trying to like become one big massive.
I think the way I thought it would make with the main sense of like how they're saying about how stuff sort of blends or like mixes together. I thought it was just making that noise because it picked it up off of her.
Yeah.
I don't know how it did it so quickly, but it made it look like it was bait when it was outside the room. I think that was just by chance. That's why she ran out there and it was trying to make it look like bait. But then when it came in, because it kept opening its mouth when it was in the room, going like, and doing the scream. So I think it was just that was its voice.
Yeah. Oh God, it was so
voice changed
good.
To that.
It was so creepy. I loved that bit. That might actually be my favourite part.
The alligator bit wasn't as interesting, but I mean that was because it was kind of like building up.
Yeah, so they were saying it got stronger the closer it got to the lighthouse, because that's where like the source of it was. But
interesting little bits though. I do really like the creatures, because I liked that the alligator had shark teeth, and they said about, well, how would it do that, and they were sort of, that's to start working it out. The plant people I was a bit confused about, because it's a really cool idea if it was just the flowers are taking shape of the human anatomy because they have human DNA in them. But then Tessa Thompson's character, she started growing, which looked like horrible. Started turning into like, had like vines and stuff coming out of her and bits of twig.
And bits of flower.
I hope she didn't turn into one of those, because that wouldn't make any sense, because then she'd lose her most of her human DNA. It kind of seemed like
she did, because she was sort of walking off, and then when she came around the corner it was all flower people, so I feel like she did. But I wondered if it works both ways, if the like flowers and twigs and stuff can grow into the shape of a human, and also a human can sort of...
But then she'd just become the same thing. I hope that she just walked off. I'm going to interpret it as she just walked off and then she couldn't see it because she was getting worse. But I don't want her to turn still, because where the fuck would her heart and everything go? I know it's growing inside of her, but then did everything else just like sort of disappear or
something else?
Really strange. Unless they were trying to say that, because they were saying the flowers had human DNA, but were they trying to say those were people left there? I think they were, because a lot of them are in different shapes. They kind of like.
Yeah, I think they were.
They're very cool concepts. It was really weird to imagine a human going into a plant.
A bit more in the book.
Yeah. She disappeared very quick. She walked off, because if she turned the corner, she was a plant person. I was like, that was very quick.
I couldn't work it out whether she was or she wasn't. But...
It made it look like, you're right, it made it look like she was, because she walked around and there was just a load of plant people there. But then also, she was full human still when she walked off, so that was very quick.
It was growing out of her arms really fast, though. But not. Yeah. I know not that fast. I'm just saying it was surprising how quick it sort of came. It'd
be funny if they ran out of budget in that bit, and the next shot was just her stuck in a bush. They just took a shot of her.
Or just like like a flower in a pot that was clearly filmed at a completely different time.
Nice. Was there any other bits of like creatures? I can't remember. Was it just those two creatures and the plant people?
There was the deer.
Which were very cool, but again they've been used to the Netflix picture, which is annoying.
Yeah. I thought it was a deer with two heads.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like in the Netflix picture, but it isn't.
Yeah.
It's 2 deers.
2 deers. One looking a bit more dodgy than the other deer. Like looking a bit more like zombified, if I'm honest.
Really?
Yeah, one looks different
to the other. I didn't even notice that.
Then they jump and move at the same time, so obviously they're duplicating each other. But again, I don't get why that's the cells. If they're mimicking each other. That's what quite confuses me with this.
But it may be that one of them wasn't a deer originally.
But they move at the same time, like they're mirroring each other. But what I'm confused is, it's about the cells splitting. It's about things merging into each other. But then why are things mimicking each other's movement? Because that's not merging. Do you know what I mean? The science is quite muddled with this.
Yeah.
It looks stunning. Like, it all just look absolutely brilliant. The only thing I don't like about the lens flare is a bit much at times, I think, because it feels like it's... Because what it does is make it... And the skies, like, the yellowy grey skies, the way they look really, like, sort of CGI'd.
Yeah, I love the, like, I don't know what it's called, but, you know, you have that sort of, like, rainbow effect everywhere.
That was nice. Like, the shimmer stuff was nice.
What is that? I don't know what that's called.
Don't know.
It's like what you see in oil when you get, like, wet oil on the floor and light shines on it.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like all over.
That's a good description.
Really cool.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Thank you.
Yeah, the shimmer stuff was really nice, but there's, like, some sort of video game looking skies in where it's, like, sort of yellow into grey. I was like, the way it looks like a skybox. It didn't look real. It kind of made it feel a bit more blockbustery.
By the lighthouse, I thought it looked quite digitally enhanced quite a lot of the time.
I'm glad you noticed that as well. It's like, because these skies sometimes feel quite, talking about the monsters, you talk about the final one, was at the end, which was this creature. Didn't she see it? When did they... Oh, her husband... Wait, who saw it at first when they saw it just go...
Like, stand up, yeah. I can't remember what that was.
It didn't really explain much what happened with Ventress. She turned into it. She gave herself to it. That bit was all very confusing with the science, and it turned into this like crazy orb thing, which looked amazing.
What? When?
At the end, when Natalie Portman goes into the lighthouse.
Sorry, yes. Do you know what's really weird as well? You know when she first went down and Ventress was down there already, she had like a weird face, like a bit like the bear thing.
I think it was just exactly the same as the creature, because the thing that Natalie Portman was mimicking, or the thing that was mimicking Natalie Portman, the alien, had the same face. It had like a brow. It looked like what are they called? You know, the things in real life that are heads somewhere, and they're like stone heads.
What, like a totem pole?
No. Oh, what are they called?
I don't know.
They're like, you know, like the dark grey heads, and they're sort of like very like that. No.
Oh.
I can't remember what they are.
Oh.
It looked like that. The creature had the same face as the bear thing, so I think she was just that. That's what it was. I thought that said
she
that
had no eyes.
No, neither does the thing that was mimicking Natalie Portman, did it? I think it was generally the exact same as that. Is what she looked like.
Oh right.
And she was that because she turned into the big orb.
It was really weird. That was weird, that bit. But then when she turned around, her face is normal again.
Yeah, I think it's because she was the creature at that point, though, and when she turned around, it was trying to hide that. And then it went into the big orb, and then took Natalie Portman's blood and turned to Natalie Portman slowly. The sound effects are amazing. We said you thought it was the score.
Yeah.
I thought it was the score. You thought it was the score, sorry, and I thought it was just the creature making that sound where it's going. It was like either way, it sounds really cool when it's doing it there. I see what you mean about this being in the cinema. If I watched these bits in IMAX, it'd be absolutely fascinating how it's done.
Yeah,
especially
I just think the score would have sounded amazing. Can you imagine that creature like coming in and doing that weird scream and stuff? That would have been haunting.
Yeah, all the creature stuff's amazing. I don't know. I think, like I said at the start, I didn't feel invested in these people at all, really. Even Natalie Portman, she was a dickhead.
Yeah, but you like that.
No, I do like that.
I think that's the problem. That's the problem for you. I don't know what character you would like really like, because you don't like sort of just nice and nice people.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like, okay, but when they're on the expedition into the Shimmer.
Yeah.
Nothing between them is very interesting.
Oh, right, yeah.
I don't find the dialogue between them bits. The way they react when they find the video of the guy with snake intestines.
Yeah.
It's just that typical thing of when scientists in films go onto an expedition onto a new planet, they all start acting like fucking idiots. Or they just all have to kind of... It just felt like that again. It kind of just felt like...
I didn't like that she was saying, oh, it's a trick of the light. It's a trick of the light. That didn't bother me because... Obviously, she didn't actually think it was a trick of the light. Yeah. She was going, no, it's a trick of the light. But it annoyed me then when they all started going, no, it wasn't. No, you could see it moving. It's like, okay, but you all know that she's not actually saying it's a trick of the light. She's just scared. Just like either go along with it,
keep watching
or
the
just
video,
don't say anything. Yeah, and that was annoyed me so much. They were like, oh, I've seen enough. I'll just turn that off. It could have gone for another hour, or there could have been some really important information in that video, but they just closed the camera thing. It was annoying. But that annoyed me because it was just like, well, she's obviously doesn't really mean that, but then they're all trying to convince her that it was real. Obviously she knew that. It's silly.
I think the concepts in this film were very good, but I feel like the execution in a lot of like I said, the characters, I know they all had their backgrounds, but one was an addict and one had cancer, but they weren't explored in an original way in terms you didn't really get to see much of them. like you didn't know much about cancer, but then someone else told her that told Natalie Portman that the leader had Ventress had cancer. And then obviously with the other one, it was, they said she's an addict, and those bits come up in the conversation, but there's no interesting background, and they're very like common things to pick.
It's difficult that because there's not really enough time to go into each of them individually, but they all had to have something like really awful and tragic in their past for them to have gone in, because that was the whole point is self-destruction, and that was the only reason that they were in there, because they're people that self-destruct or don't have like a really happy home life, otherwise why would you go in there? But it was kind of it's difficult because obviously they had to have something.
But they must all get quite well paid because they're on pretty good fucking jobs to be there.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that really matters. They're all going to die.
So they're all going to die?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like you're saying, like more obviously got all self-destruction because none of them are having a good time, but like...
I don't think they were all...
Why was Tessa Thompson's character
They weren't all on really good...
Oh, she harmed herself.
Yeah, they weren't all on really good money or anything like that.
They never said it, but they were in a good... Like, to be there, surely they're all pretty smart.
No,
like, she was crazy smart, Tessa Thompson's character.
Yeah, but she had come straight from doing a degree or a master's or something like that, she said. One of Gonzalez... I can't remember her name. Gina
Discount
Gonzalez?
Michelle Rodriguez.
She's
better than Michelle Rodriguez. It's just...
just a bit,
just because I just think her role in this is just really
she was an ambulance driver, so no, they weren't.
She said she was. Oh yeah, she said she was. She just an ambulance, or didn't she do quite a lot of medic stuff?
Yeah,
she
she's like a medic, but she said she like scraped people off the side of the road and stuff. So she'd seen like
a lot of shit.
She'd seen crazy stuff. Yeah, but no, I don't think any of them were particularly. They just wanted to go in.
Yeah, they were fine. I think you're right. They were fine, but I just didn't feel invested in them.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult because they all had to have these crazy tragic pasts, obviously, to want to go in there, and basically, like they kept saying, it was like a suicide mission. But you didn't have enough time in that film to go into each of them individually, so it didn't really... It was difficult.
I should have studied this before, since the only person they ever sent in who wasn't self-destructive was Natalie Portman.
But she was self-destructive.
But she got out, that was the whole point. You said she gets out because she had something to go through.
Yeah, but she was self-destructive though.
Well, yeah, she was. But she was so self-destructive in real life that she... No, I don't... But then I don't get the point of why she got out then, because surely the others had stuff to live for still.
Oh no, that was what they were saying, none of them had anything.
No one that ever went in there?
Huh?
No one that ever went in there?
Well, apparently not, no. That's what they said.
That's the only thing. There's a lot. I'm sure I've fucked other people going, no, I get the metaphor stuff, but yeah, this is what I mean. Like, if more people had come out, it might be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, like little loop round to that. Anything else to say about it? We said the characters quite a bit in the story already. The music's really cool, and the score.
Yeah, the score's amazing, and it looked really lovely.
Setting's beautiful. It looks stunning. It's really pretty. It's nice to see like a kind of strange apocalypse kind of setting, but it's pretty instead of being like disastrous just because something's gone wrong. And I thought it was kind of cool
that she wasn't like a nice person. Like I didn't particularly like her that much or anything. It was just you kind of just watched her story rather than be like, oh, I really hope she gets out.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, completely agree with that.
Yeah, and it was cool that he wasn't really her husband and stuff, but it was cool and it wasn't, because we kind of saw it from the beginning. When he came in, we were like, there's something not right about him, and I said, oh, it seems like he's possessed or something. No, I'm not saying I was like, oh, I bet there's going to be a creature at the end, and it's not really him. But it was kind of like, from the start, he was clearly not.
I think you could clear about 20 minutes from the start of this film and use it to show other characters a bit more, because that bit, I don't think you need to bit when the other guy from the OJ programme, I don't think it needed to show him inviting her and sort of trying to be all funny between them, but I was not tainting his memory, you come into a party. I don't think you needed that to show that they were later on having an affair, because you could just show him having an affair, because he wasn't much of a character other than that one scene. They didn't really need to be there.
No.
If you just told me that, if you just saw her, if it just took up to the shot where they're just having sex and she's clearly having an affair, that would have given me just as much sort of...
and actually I think it would have been more surprising.
Yeah.
Because the way he touched her on the arm, we were like... Oh.
It was very much there for an indication of them cheating, wasn't it? And that was its... and it was a bit too much, because they said about touching on her arm, and he also says, oh, come, and she doesn't want to come to the party, she said, oh, come to the party, it's not going to taint his memory. It's like, well, there's obviously something there. It was very obvious about it. Yeah, but there's like bits like that from the start. It took quite a while for them to get into the shimmer.
To be honest, because he said, oh, it's me and my wife having a barbecue and stuff, and he said, you can come to a barbecue, like, it doesn't mean that Was it a barbecue? Something like
that. I think it was a barbecue.
It's not going to take his memory. To be honest, I didn't think that there was something going on between them. I was kind of surprised they were having an affair, but I did think that he liked her from the way he touched her on the arm. But I can't say that I thought, there's something definitely going on there.
Yeah.
I did think they did that kind of okay, actually, to be honest.
They did fine, I'm just saying.
And especially because he mentioned his wife, I was like, oh, okay, no.
Yeah. I'm not saying that they full on made it obvious they were had an affair.
Start some sentences very loud today.
I don't think they made it obvious that they were having an affair. I just mean I don't think that scene was necessary to anything. Cause all it did later on was go, oh, okay, they're having an affair. Well,
every time you start a sentence, maxing out. Sorry, everyone.
It's not on here.
Let me just adjust the volume.
Settings.
There we go.
Should we talk about the ending? Should we talk about the ending?
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think is happening?
Like I said at the time, I'm not saying I have to have everything explained or wrapped up. I like interpreting things.
Buts and again, not that. Sorry, I thought you were going to sing that.
Hello. No, I like to interpret things for myself, and it's nice when things are a bit like, oh, I don't know. You kind of have to decide for yourself. Like end of 3 Billboards. Did they go and kill that guy? We'll never know. I don't mind that.
We talk about 3 Billboards so much.
I know. But I love that. I don't mind going, oh, you'll never know if they did or they didn't. That's great. But this, I was like, what? Wait, what? Is she a clone? Is she not a clone? Well, actually, that I wouldn't have minded even. Is she a clone? Is she not a clone? But it just felt like there was a lot that wasn't explained. I think like the science of it, like there was so much when they do that sort of questioning thing, and then they jump back and forth, like you were saying, they were jumping between asking her, and then it went back to the story, and then asking her, and then it went back to the story. They usually use that as a thing for you to ask questions throughout, like, oh, I wonder, and then they show you the answers. Yeah. But they didn't, and it annoyed me a little bit because I felt like there was too much left open.
Oh, okay. Who did she ask about? Because they asked her who'd survived, and she says they died, and then they say what about her, and she says I don't know.
Oh yeah.
She's talking about Ventress because she didn't see Ventress die. Yeah. But then at that point she would have put together that she did die because she just saw the mimic of, although she didn't see her body. Yeah. Didn't explain what the bodies were outside, or the kind of...
Yeah, that was the thing. There were so many things in there that I wanted to know. And not because, like, I need to know, I can't work it out for myself. I just wanted to know. It was so interesting. And I think when things are really new like that, like really new ideas or really good ideas, and they're left really ambiguous, kind of makes them less, because it almost makes it feel like it wasn't a fully realised idea. Do you know what I mean?
Because they couldn't figure an idea. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I think there's another film in this list that we're going to see is very similar to this, how they executed that. But yeah, I get what you mean. Sometimes you can use it ambiguous, but it just felt odd because it felt, if it's related to it and you can make assumptions, it's fine. But there was no kind of like... sort of religious...
Yeah, I think when you've created your own sort of law of science and you've created your own world like that, it's so interesting. Explain it to me, because I want to know all about that. If you create a whole new world and don't explain it, it just becomes kind of annoying.
That's the thing of the concept in this. The concept was about the cell splitting and about merging things. There was never any idea of anything being religious or like about praying to a god or anything like that. No. So then that was when it was strange, when it was bodies spread out that had been laid out like that. Yeah. They couldn't have just like sort of landed like that. No. Because there was heads, ribs, and then legs. Yeah. So they'd been laid out. I was like, who was laid these out? Yeah. And the creature that mimicked them was I was confused that it was in the light. It didn't explain much. It didn't explain why that was in the lighthouse and didn't venture out of the lighthouse.
Mimicking her rather than just trying to merge with her, because everything else that you said was just merging together, apart from the deers that were mimicking.
That's what I mean. The mimicking and the merging were two different things, because that mimicking isn't cells combining. It's things mimicking each other. It's very strange. And again, that's fine. And the mimicking doesn't bother me so much.
And that they said that it was meant to be, we read or watched or something, that people were saying it was meant to be her, like a better version of her that wasn't self-destructive, so she could go back to her husband, and she's given all of her like self-destructive tendencies away to that mimic, and then it's destroyed itself. And he told the mimic version of himself to go find her so that they could have like a happy marriage. But that whole world is just for them to be together?
I'm sure DNA doesn't carry memory,
yeah.
memory and personality. Because if you clone something, it's not going to be the same person as you. It has the same experiences.
Memories, no.
So what I'm trying to like, why is that? Why would you want to go be with your alien husband who doesn't? And I'm pretty sure they're pretty sure he didn't have memories. The one I went back to because when I saw you and I came to.
Yeah, I recognised you.
Because surely if it did have the same memories, it would act the same as he did, which isn't being like a zombie in all black costume. Why was it in all black as well? He wasn't wearing all black like that. I don't get why his hair was slicked back and he was in all black clothes.
No,
because
I don't know why his hair was.
Because when he mimicked him, he was never dressed like that in the shimmer. It's really strange.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's really strange with some of the stuff. And I don't mind if you had bits of merging there. So they didn't explain the Deers, which I'm fine with because that kind of was like what that world was. But then adding like religious iconography in there is strange because there was nothing about religion in there.
Yeah.
So then to have bodies laid out in like a sacrificial way was really strange. Because especially without an explanation. What are you about to say? What are you thinking?
I can't remember because I was saying it and then you started saying something else and then I listened to you and I can't remember what I was going to say. It doesn't matter. Oh, I can't remember. I'm not sure.
So the ending, I think, well, I'd hope it was just her because it looked very obviously like it was just her that left.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's the thing with the ending about being ambiguous, is the way they leave it, which is they just show a glimmer in her eye, like a shimmer in her eye. That's a really annoying way of doing it because it's like it was like that. If you want to be ambiguous at the end, you have to be subtle about it. But making it really obvious about the ambiguity. Because, like you said, the way it showed her eye and it went shimmer.
I almost nearly said it as a joke.
Well,
when they showed his eyes and then it went to her, I was like, oh, here we go. I'm going to do like a big flash in her eyes or something. And they actually did it. I was like, oh, okay.
It's very much for the screen as well as for the cameras, isn't it?
It's overused as well. It's really
for the eye,
especially that shot over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It is. It's like the end of the flipping Thriller video.
Yeah. But we did really enjoy this film.
And the end of Game of Thrones, and the end of, like, there's so many things where someone.
I was just thinking about that with the dragon eye when you said about it.
It's exactly. What did I say? Called that. Said that would be the final shot of the series. I'm so proud of myself that I called that.
Yeah. Yeah. The one really good thing about this, which I like with Arrival, which is good that we're starting to see, is different ideas concerning life around the galaxy and around the universe, which is we can't, instead of aliens just being green things that run around with big heads, aliens are now, they don't have to make sense. Same with Interstellar as well, and all these big sort of films now, these aliens don't make sense, and that's absolutely fine to me. Like, I don't mind about the ambiguity about the duplicating and the merging, because they even say in the film, like, this is a beyond our knowledge, we don't understand it, which they do in Cloverfield Paradox as well, but that is done so naff with it. It's just because that is very clearly an excuse to not have to explain anything. It's just thrown every like cliche in the book. But with this, it's just because the aliens and the way with the mimicking is. They said we don't know if they want to hurt us. We don't know anything. This is just their existence. They don't have to abide by our laws because they don't. So it's very interesting with that. Same with Arrival, same with Interstellar. They sort of. And I quite like that. It feels like kind of cosmic horror, which I really like. The kind of idea of the universe.
It's really frightening. Yeah. But
I love that. You don't see enough of cosmic horror. It's kind of Cthulhu kind of stuff, which is really interesting. Anything else to say for it?
No.
No? No, I'm done. I'm going home.
I'm leaving. Bye-bye.
You want to give it a score out of 10? I'm going to say 6. Or what
8.
You say? 8.
I'm going to say 7.9.
I'm going to say 8.2.
Yeah, I want to go higher now.
Go higher?
8.5.
Alright, there we go. Style over substance? No, I think it has got a lot of both. I think the style is what makes it better for me, though. Yeah. So this was probably, this is a blockbuster on the Netflix side of things.
Yeah.
So, which is, I don't know what one now. Obviously, the first blockbuster they did was Bright, and from there they've started doing bigger budget films. But I think a lot of the bigger budget ones that they've done weren't made for Netflix. They were made, and then Netflix had brought them.
Sorry, I'm moving the microphone.
Because I'm so loud.
I can hear you so much more than me, and you're very loud. That's better.
Oh my god, it's going to scatter it. It's so weird. It's creepy. What film do you want to talk about next from Netflix? We won't do reviews, we'll just go through them and say like the kind of mix. Should we talk about the big budget ones first as a category?
So I've got the list, so I'll decide. I'm joking.
Alright, go for it.
I'm kidding. No, what did you want to do?
Should we do them into foreign? I think there's only one foreign one in there. Should we talk about big budget ones first? Well, we've just been talking about Annihilation, the big budget films that Netflix have done. I'm going to give you this list
because you're going to decide.
Wait, you can decide if you want. I can't see any of those.
Bear with me.
But the top one was Mute, so let's start with Mute because that's a big budget one.
Okay.
Also saying this.
They must have had a really big budget for that.
Here's what's interesting, which I said to you when we were watching Mute, is so Alex Garland did Annihilation, which is the guy that did Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
And Duncan Jones, the man behind Moon and Source Code, did Mute. What's interesting with both of these is they are great films, Ex Machina and Moon, and they feel quite low, but well, not low budget, but they kind of feel more down to earth.
Yeah,
there's not crazy sci-fi in there at all. It's all well. There is interesting, but you get what I mean. Moon's very kind of like colour. It's not like crazy explosions or anything. It's very down to earth kind of stuff. And then it's interesting because now the two of them have just done Mute and Annihilation, which are both very colourful, very CGI heavy films, which is strange because they kind of both feel like as you attach these sort of down to earth sci-fi concepts, are now doing big sci-fi concepts, and I wonder if that's where they've got the budget from, if that's for Netflix or to do some sort of contract. It's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. It always seems surprising when a director of like a smaller thing gets a massive film and you go, whoa.
Yeah.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah, it doesn't, because it takes away the kind of like the feel that they've directed it. I've completely forgotten the word. A auteur, there we go. The auteur feeling to those directors.
The what?
Auteur.
Was that?
When you have your own directing sort of feel on top of a film.
What are you saying?
An auteur. A-U-T-E-U-R.
A-U-T... What?
E-U-R.
E-U-R. Oh, never heard that word.
So like the obvious auteurs would be...
You learn something new, don't you? Every
so
podcast.
Tarantino is like one everyone always says for an auteur because his films all have one kind of style. Yeah. Same with Nolan, same with a lot of directors. But that's what I kind of mean. It doesn't feel like they directed it necessarily.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about Mew.
Yeah. Anyway, talk about Mew. Just in general,
it's terrible.
We didn't finish it.
We didn't finish it. We can't lie about that. We did not finish it. Talk about style over substance. Am I right?
It's trying to be a cult film.
It's trying to be annoying to me.
To me, the acting. Do you want to say about the acting?
The acting's awful. It's awful. It's so it's just no.
The worst thing about the acting...
I don't care about anyone in it either. Sorry, go on.
No, she said the worst thing about the acting...
And also,
the worst thing about the acting in it is the main dude kind of is a mute. He kind of acts like a child near the start. He gets excited in his face.
Weird.
It's really
creepy.
Odd. And then his girlfriend in this, the hooker. What did I call him? The hoe. Didn't I call someone the hooker on him before? The hoe. Yeah. The hoe dog millionaire. The hooker in this, the main character.
I don't know if she is hooker.
She's not a hooker. She's a dancer. No, she's a waitress now.
I think she's just a waitress.
Didn't she have a background? No, I don't know. She's just a waitress. Anyway, the main girl in this with blue hair. She just had to have blue hair.
Yeah, blue. Oh, so everyone in the future is going to have blue hair and blue lipstick and pale skin because that's just so. That's such an outdated, old-fashioned like future thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That in the future everyone's going to have like multicoloured hair and stupid lipstick.
Yep.
So annoying.
So that's because of budget reasons, I'm pretty sure, before.
So annoying.
Anyway, the main woman in it with blue hair.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I don't care either.
I swear it changed like 5 times. Anyway, she is the worst acting in this. She's she's having a conversation with the dude that's a mute.
Yeah.
But because she's not talking, because she's not got any response, she could not act by herself.
No, and she's talking to him like a baby. Yeah. It's weird.
So when you have a terrible acting like that, and then you're meant to care, she goes missing, and you're meant to. By the way, this is
I was going to say this is exactly the problem, and they're both okay, good. They're both terrible actors, and you don't believe for a second there's ever been any kind of relationship between them. You can't then base your whole film about her going missing because I already don't care.
Yeah, she goes missing, and he wants to find her.
So uninvested in anything that any of those characters have ever done or will do. It's rubbish.
She also said she's going to. Also, what's interesting about this? This is all quite early on in the film anyway, but she says, I'm going to leave, I have to leave you, and he's like, no, don't. They sleep together, and then he wakes up and she's gone. And he assumes that she's left. or been taken or something. But why? She could have just fucked off. She said she was going to fuck off.
No, she says I have to tell you something about me, and he's like, "Oh, are you gonna leave?" And she says, "No, the last thing I ever want to do is leave you." And he's like, "Well, then nothing else matters." So she doesn't even say.
Oh, I thought she says. Oh.
Well, maybe she does say that.
I thought she said she had to leave. She said the last thing I want to do is leave you, but I thought she was saying I have to leave you. It's very hard to stay with this film because it's very boring.
Who cares?
It's very much, and this is what's annoying of it. It's very much trying to be a culty film. The poster release for it, the painting, kind of poster release for it, the style of like it keeps showing shots of like this world and like how the different like vehicles and the kind of all that kind of stuff, doesn't it? It all tries to show off all the different like new kind of technologies in this world.
It's annoying because when we first saw that shot and it sort of zoomed across the city and then came down sort of into that alleyway where that car was, I said, that didn't look bad at all. I thought that was going to look really rubbish, but it looked pretty good.
I don't think it looks bad at all.
No,
like, that kind of stuff. I think the budget's fine and a lot of the effects are fine. I think it's just that, like you said, the problem with trying to be a culty film is a lot of cult films are terrible, have terrible acting, and are really like poorly written. But if you know,
but they're all round bad, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the thing. That's what I mean. That's a coffin. But why go out of your way to write it badly like that? Because it's from Duncan Jones, who's the dude that is good.
Badly. I don't think it's meant to be written badly.
But it is written so badly.
I know, but I don't think it's meant to be. I don't think anyone ever means to write stuff badly, but I don't know. It's like
maybe not so much for the effort.
This film doesn't even know that it's. Like, I don't.
It's really strange. It's really strange.
Almost flipping bits like with the. You know, when he's in the bar with that guy and he cooks his little bit of meat under that like steam thing.
Yeah. He holds it up. That seems like a fucking bitch. Why would you want to do that?
I know, how annoying.
It was making up sci-fi concept for the sake of making up sci-fi concepts.
Yeah, it was so stupid. And it was just like, how much budget, how much time, how many people have you employed to make that little thing? I don't care about that. Hire a good actress or a good actor. Get rid of that crap. I don't care. Oh, it's terrible. Yeah,
it's very much just trying to throw all the sci-fi and the bit of the phone where it's showing when you use a phone screen, you can like swipe it and it goes into all the screens around you. Never know when that's a good thing. Kind of the amount of accidents people have had with that.
What a terrible, terrible concept. Why would anyone want that?
Yeah, so we made it halfway through.
Surely that gets abused constantly.
Yeah, kids being
twerps. I couldn't be dealing with any of it, honestly.
Paul Rudd's good in it.
Paul Rudd's good in it.
But we don't know what he was or what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because it was very confusing. The main guy can sign language, but then he suddenly starts writing everything down.
The main guy can sign language. Try again? Yeah, can sign.
Can sign. But then he starts writing everything down instead of signing. Or is that because no one else... Oh, actually, no, that makes sense. Maybe it's because no one else understands sign language.
Yeah, but his girlfriend does, so why was he...
Right, he did write some stuff down to her. He wrote one thing because it was like... He wrote it down to her because they needed that note later on, that's why.
That bit with the... I want to watch it all now just for the fun of laughing at it, but that bit where he obviously realised he was going to remember that she'd written something down on that notepad and he was going to try and get the imprint off the paper. Yeah. And I said that, and then about 3 minutes later... There he was. Ooh, and then they did a flipping flashback of her writing it down. I was like, are you kidding? Oh my god, we already worked that out. Do a flashback. And then he got that bit of coal and like scribbled on it so hard. I was like, he would have gone through the entire pad, let alone just...
It's a futuristic pad, they don't break. Shatterproof paper. What the fuck was that? It just
bird.
Fell for a shed roof.
'Twas a bird.
Should we move on to the next one? Yes, Stay Away From You. Unless you're interested, there's a little moon connection there. It kind of ruins Moon, so I probably wouldn't watch it even for that. No. It's really strange. Won't bother going. So yeah, it's big budget. It's that kind of thing of, I think since they've been doing bigger budget films, they've been crappier compared to their smaller budget because there's been this bright. So the bigger budget films we've watched so far, bright. We've already spoken about that. Terrible, absolutely shit. World building, shit all around.
Yeah.
Nah. Cloverfield Paradox we already spoke about, which was again, naff. It's the storytelling, isn't it? It's just
I totally
really
think
naff.
we would maybe... Yeah, it is. I don't...
They're really big budget, really like all showy. Like, oh, look at this. But then they're all really kind of...
It's funny, isn't it? Because
sense.
I think Annihilation would have been better at the cinema. I think we would have loved it.
You wouldn't feel as tainted because it was a Netflix, big budget.
I would have loved it. I think if we'd seen Cloverfield Paradox at the cinema, I know we didn't like it, but I think we would have liked it even less.
We would have liked it even less, yeah.
I think it would have read really badly on a big screen.
Yeah, I think it would have been worse on there.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I don't know why, but it would definitely have been.
Yeah.
because we'd have to go to watch it and put the effort into watching it.
Yeah, and just a lot of it felt really amateurish, and I think it would have felt really strange to see that on a big screen.
I completely agree. We've got to have a bigger budget ones. Okja? Was that?
Yeah, I'd say that's fairly big.
That's the only... Well, Annihilation was good, and this was a very good one for a bigger relatively big budget. This was before but this was before Bright, so I don't think this could have been that big of a budget, because they said Bright was their first blockbuster.
Yeah.
Okja was nice, because that felt like it was the director's work. Completely forgot his name.
There was some really, really interesting concepts in there as well. Like, I feel like some of it was really believable, but then you also had this kind of crazy, wacky side, but they went...
Of Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal and, what's her face? Why can't I remember her name? What's her name?
Can I? Can't remember.
Tilda Swinton. Yes! Tilda Swinton 2 times, because she was a twin. I can't, no. Tilda Twinton. Anyway, he had that whole kind of wacky side to it, but they went like so full on with it, and they're both really good actors, so it was totally fun and good, and and it had heart.
And it was
I very much cared about Okja. And his little friend, whose name I've forgotten.
Yeah, we watched it quite a while ago. We watched it when it first came out.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
What I mean about it feeling like this, like he feels like an auteur, because it's very similar to why have the films gone from my head? Snowpiercer, and why has it gone from my head? The name of the film.
Screaming.
I'm not even screaming. I think it's your ears.
No.
You got very sensitive.
It's maxing out. I'm telling you.
It's not on here, love. It's not maxing out on here.
Well, it is on here. It's going on.
Why is? Oh, the host. That's it. I couldn't think of it for a second. I had Rush in my head for some reason. It feels like that sort of style. It's a monster, especially like the host. It's kind of like a monster movie in reverse, because it's the monster in this is essentially a good monster, but it feels like the same director, which is nice. It feels like it's something he wanted to do and got to do how he wanted to do it. It felt quirky like those films, because all three of them feel weird at times. Snowpiercer not as much, but they do. It's like I'm saying Snowpiercer.
No.
Snowpiercer. We could talk about smaller films then. This is because I think on a ratio of big films, I know there's probably more smaller films, but on a ratio of big films to sort of more indie style films, the indie style films are definitely better. Would you like to talk about Ravenous?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ravenous was really good.
Like a kid wrote that. Ravenous was really good.
I think I thought I was going to like it more than I did.
I think
Idiots.
The trailer was
definitely
a show
put
reel
all the best bits in the trailer, which is very unlike a film like this.
The trailer was a show reel of the horror moments from this film.
Yeah, it was.
So
and
if you click on it over Netflix, do not watch the trailer.
No, don't watch it. No.
Just watch
and actually, I hate to say it, but I feel like all the horror moments felt a lot scarier in the trailer than they did in the film.
Because up together.
Yeah.
I don't know, some bits though. Okay, the bit with it where it's the girl and the mum stood there, which is in the trailer, holding hands, I think that was scary in the film.
Well, that's a lot scarier in the trailer.
Spoilers. Well, we could probably do this without spoilers, Ravenous. Could say about it. I thought it was scary in the film because of what happens after that shot of when they're stood there together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that made it creepier because I didn't know. Let's just say you lose sight of them.
Yeah.
That was more.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh shit. The atmosphere.
Yeah,
of the
no,
trees
that was, but that wasn't in the trailer. That bit I'm talking about the actual moment when you see them.
When you see the trailer,
it's a lot scarier in the trailer.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
There's some stuff.
Very good performances in Ravenous, though.
And you don't know any of the faces, which is nice in the film.
I always think sometimes it's hard it's easy to almost overlook the performances sometimes when you're watching a foreign film, because you don't always get sort of the I think you get the emotion, but you don't realise that you get it as much because you can't hear.
You're reading the subtitles.
Yeah, and you can't hear
exactly what they're
the
emphasizing.
emotion as well as you would in your own language. You just can't. I mean, yes.
Unless it's a Korean film and it's a little girl crying and screaming.
Yeah, and then it's
then you get the emotion.
Yeah, then you get it. But no, I think when they're actually speaking words and not just crying, then I think it's easy to. But there was some really really good performances in it.
I agree.
Especially the main guy was very good. I really liked him. Yeah. And again, he was a character that you cared about. I cared about his journey. I was worried for him.
Yeah. I don't. Should we just try and do so? I suppose talk about this. Yeah, it's nice. It's very different for a zombie film, as in it plays around with the rules of zombies again a bit. They're not necessarily just zombies, which is always nice to see. And I think everyone loves a good zombie film if it's good. So it's just a good one to go watch for that.
Yeah.
It's a different one for a Netflix film to be. It's very different to anything else that's on that list.
Also, it's mainly during the day, which I've only just
lovely.
Realised. Yeah.
I love that. I love a good daytime horror because if you can make something scary in the day without relying on the night, it's much nicer.
Yeah, but I wasn't scared. I wasn't scared.
I just think I think that you could be scared in the day. I think that's just how it's.
Yeah, no, you could be. I'm just saying. I know, but you're saying if you can make something scary during the day, but I didn't find.
Well, not scary, but if you could make something creepy during the day.
I thought I was gonna.
The atmosphere was better. Okay, well, yeah, I guess the wailing was a lot in the day as well. Had a lot of bits in the day that were creepy in that. It's the trees in daylight because a lot of the daylight gets sucked out through the tree line.
Yeah.
I feel like the atmosphere is a lot better in the day. I feel like the bit where they're holding hands feels more atmospheric because it's daytime. And you can see a lot better. If it was night, I would just feel like it was just night. The bit when they're holding hands? Whereas the mum holding the girl's hand, that's in the trailer, when you said the creepy shot.
Oh, right, yeah.
That looked better in the daylight than it would at night.
Yeah.
At night, it would just feel like anything else. And again, I feel like night kind of takes away a lot of atmosphere because you can't see the surroundings, which kind of takes away a lot.
Yeah.
So we can really say about Ravenous, really. It's a very good zombie film. It's nice to go see it on Netflix. It's nice that they're putting foreign films on Netflix as well. It's nice to mix it up.
Yeah. They
know what they're doing. It's good. They're putting all kinds of different stuff there, which is nice. Would not avoid.
No, don't avoid. Very good.
Maybe
I watch it at night.
Maybe watch it at night. We watched it in the morning, didn't we? When we
watched it in the morning, and it's mainly set in the daylight.
We love a good wake-up film.
Do love a wake-up film.
You want to pick the next one?
I pick.
You can start it.
I pick. Am I meant to be picking something that's
to tail onto that, or just pick something you want to?
I feel like I'm going to pick the wrong one.
Why? We'll do a category.
You just pick them.
Why?
Because I'm going to pick the wrong one.
You can't pick a wrong one.
Okay, I picked 1922.
Oh, bloody hell, she's picked the wrong one.
Can't believe you've picked the wrong one.
She's absolutely picked the wrong one.
I knew you would pick the wrong one.
For God's sake.
Well, let's pick 1922 and then Gerald's game.
Very nice.
Thank
why are
you.
we picking those? Because they're alright. Is that why?
Yeah, because,
Very nice.
Thanks.
You want to talk about 1922?
It's 1922.
1922.
Who wrote that? Who wrote it?
Who wrote it? Stephen King.
And?
Gerald's game.
Yeah.
You said who wrote that?
Yeah.
Oh, because they're both Stephen King is what you're saying. I thought you were trying to say who wrote that, and then I said Stephen King and then pointing at the name of the film. I was like, well, Stephen King.
Yeah, no, I'm saying I picked them both because they're horror and they're both the same.
They're both released in the cinema.
Why
we could do them together because we're burning time here.
How long have we been going?
An hour.
Okay.
It's alright. I'll cut.
Speed through these.
I'll cut some of the stuff because we talked about Annihilation for like really long and it was like grueling. And
that's very interesting.
I slacked it off quite a bit.
You did.
So I'll probably cut that.
Okay, good. So 1922, I killed my wife.
Keep doing that every day now.
Every time there's a date. 1922.
1839.
The best one you've done so far is when I pulled out that tin the other day and I was like, where did these go off? And you were like, oh, it's fine, it's not till September 1922. That was amazing. 1922, loved it. Very good acting. Great. Great story. It was creepy. You didn't really know what was going to happen. It was just It's great.
I knew one thing that was going to happen.
What?
I'm not going to say it in case people
You
don't.
knew it was going to be set in 1922.
I knew it was going to be set in 1922.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see how to say anything about this film.
Kind of a giveaway that Gerald is wife. That's not really what the story is, though.
You just spoiled that for everyone.
Now you've ruined it.
It's a thriller more than a horror. It's not terrifying. There are obviously bits of horror.
Horrible
I don't like the horror
though.
bits in it. If you get the bits I mean, I don't. No,
They're
massively.
all in the trailer. No, they're not.
Yeah,
They're not.
Well, one of them is.
One
Like,
of them is,
massively.
yeah. No, it's not very horror-y. It's not horror. It's not horror-y,
the
like
horror
scary.
Genre, it's not.
It's horrific, but it's not.
It's still for the horror genre.
Know what I mean?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, he's so good though. I think he's great.
Who?
Don't know his name.
The main guy.
No.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
They're all good though. They're all
It's
good.
worth a watch, especially because it has now rised up the Stephen King content recently. Give these a watch. These are probably why these have both been released last year.
It's great. There's a really, really great soundtrack too, and it's got a really good atmosphere. Like I love it when you sort of think of a film and you get the time and the place and the
cornfields
people.
and the day. Do it for me. Makes me think of that film.
Yeah.
If you want to carry on with your Stephen King watching, this is a good one.
This film also has like a lot of good moments, which makes me think of like a really, old films. They always had like classic moments. It always feels like when they do those. When they do those like top 100 things, like best moments in the thing, they always seem to be like older films. And this feels like one of those where there's a lot of scenes where you go, oh that scene, oh that scene, oh that.
Reenact
scene.
one for me right now. I don't.
Anyone that's seen it will know what that was.
I think I know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Cow?
Coo! Yes.
A coo.
A coo!
If you want to step it up a level from 1922, what would you go watch?
Mudbound. Gerald's Game.
Which is also Stephen King.
Stephen King.
And Stephen King adaptation.
This is so good.
Yeah, I prefer this a lot more than I like 1922 a lot, but I prefer this a lot more.
This is way better.
It feels more gripping and it's... Okay, this is a bit more horror-y. This one is quite a bit more...
This one scared the living daylights out of me.
I thought you were going to say scared the living shits out of me.
No, it scared me so much. This is one that, as we were going to sleep, I was like, oh, I just open my eyes again. Just check around the room. Okay, that's good. Okay, just one more check around. Yeah.
We won't say why.
We'll just say that you've seen it.
There's just a big old hook to this second half of the film that makes it stand out to a lot of horror.
Yeah.
Did
not see it coming either, and it was almost like, I can't believe this. I can't believe they've put this in. I can't
believe you've done this.
This is horrible. I told you we're really behind with the vines, so it's not cool when we say them anymore.
It's very cool when I say the kids' terms. In 1922, I found my first vine. Yeah, don't watch the trailer for these films. Don't
watch the trailer.
Dicks.
I think you are.
We've both got red on our laptops. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah.
Well, how do I waste time on a podcast?
Little matching laptops, but not really.
Change mine. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good performances. It's very interesting. It has frightening bits in it. I always recommend this for one of the best horrors of recent years.
You think it's just going to be like what it is at the start, and then it's...
Your eyes went so fucking weird then. Stop doing that or I'll throw this tube at your head.
Oh, thanks.
Zombie!
Yeah, you think it's going to just be... I didn't do anything, I just opened them really wide.
I know,
like
it's
that.
creepy.
Is that creepy?
Yeah, you don't ever do that. It's scary. Stop it.
Like that?
Yeah, stop it. I just said...
Sorry.
I will throw this at you.
I know, but I don't feel like I'm doing that much.
What do you mean?
I don't feel like they're even open that wide when I do that. What about this? Is that okay?
That's alright, you just look tired when you do that. You're like,
I feel tired. I don't know why I'm tired, but
Let's
I do
stop
feel tired.
Talking about...
People want to know this stuff.
Okay. We've got to record 2 today. We're going away.
Going on holiday.
Holiday! Oh, fucking hell, we're doing it again. Alright. Gerald's Game, yes. Very good. You should watch it. Yeah. Probably one of my favourites on this list, if I'm honest.
Don't watch it before you go to bed. What a terrible mistake that was.
Do it if you've got balls. You do it. Do it if you've got fucking balls.
Gordon, I tell ya. Cool. Next, you pick.
Oh, I'm picking now, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you already said the name, so let's go on to... Actually, let's go... I know what I'm saving till last.
Oh yeah,
I laugh
so
you
do
do
I.
it.
I know.
Mudbound is the
This-
next one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mudbound.
Very good.
1922, which was actually Oscar nominated, which is interesting. I don't think were any of these Oscar nominated.
I don't think
other
so.
than that?
It was nominated for the song. Oh no, she was nominated for Best Supporting, wasn't she?
Yeah.
No.
Very good. There's not much to say about this. It's just it's boring. That's what I'm saying.
It's not boring, no. I think we don't have that much to say about it because if you watch the trailer or you sort of read what it's about, it kind of is exactly what you think it will be.
It's not one to discuss much about.
Without ruining stuff, no.
Yeah.
It's very good, and the acting is very, very, very good. Especially.
It's going to have a specific audience.
What's his name?
I don't remember their names.
I feel like it begins with the G.
Gerald's game.
No, but I feel like it is Gerald or something. Oh, for goodness sake.
I can't remember.
I need to look it up.
Oh, bloody hell.
We nominated him for what are we calling this?
I know.
Award.
I forgot his name.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's going to have a very specific audience. I don't think a lot of people might get bored with it because people have particular tastes. It's also a historical piece. Would you class it as a historical piece? I think it's a historical piece, which always it's saying like 1922. It always turns people away because it's set in the past and it's not got dragons and swords.
Not Gerald, but Garrett Hedlund.
It's Garrett Hedlund.
Magnificent. He's very, very good, and my mate's in it too, Jason Clarke. I don't know why we still have that joke. We have a joke that I'm mates with him, but I'm not.
I don't have that joke.
We have that joke. We always say, "Oh, it's your mate." I don't know why. He's not my friend. I don't know him.
I don't make this joke. It's just.
Shut up. Jason Clarke's good in it. Jonathan Banks good in it. Carey Mulligan's good in it. It's one of those ones. It's just a good
all-round cast.
Yeah.
If you want to see what a Netflix Oscar-nominated film's like, go watch it.
Yeah.
That's what was
if you just want if you just want a good story and some quality acting, then go for it.
Yeah. Next one.
Next one is right. I'll just talk about this one because I can't remember it that well. Fundamentals of Caring.
That was a really early film on there. I really liked it.
I did like it, but I don't remember. I feel like I haven't seen it. I know I have, but I don't feel like I did watch it.
You remember Selena Gomez's performance? This was of a very early stage of Netflix originals where you had this and you had Tallulah, which you still haven't watched, which you should watch. They're kind of very much like indie kind of films.
Yeah.
You like Juno, you probably like Tallulah. It feels like that. It's that kind of indie.
Just because Ellen Page is.
No, because of that kind of. And it's about a baby.
You're a baby.
You're a bloody baby. They very much feel like sort of late teens, early adult kind of films where like people, not just for that specific audience, but they feel like kind of like indie flicks, and I liked them both.
Yeah, Fundamentals of Caring is good. It's just sort of a nice.
I just like the quippiness.
It's like when you don't really know what to pop on Fundamentals of Caring. It's quite nice, light-hearted, heartwarming.
Paul Rudd's good in it again.
Paul Rudd's always good.
It's the dude, I can't remember his name. He got up quick.
Oh my lord.
Just type in submarine cast, that'd be quicker than typing
in.
Submarine cast, because that'd be quicker.
Alright, I'm already on IMDb.
They're both very good little. A lot of these.
Is it Craig
films,
Roberts?
No.
Oh.
I don't think it's Craig Roberts.
It's. That can't be him.
It's Adam from Being Human, whoever his name is. How are you struggling with this?
Because the picture's tiny. It's Craig Roberts.
I feel like that's not his name, and I feel like it might be because I don't actually know his name.
Are you actually looking it up when I've got it on the laptop?
I don't feel like that's his name. Oh, you didn't say. You just said it like you didn't know for sure.
No, I just said it is Craig Roberts, and you said again, I don't feel like that's his name. I also feel like he's got an Adam Driver vibe going on in that picture.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
The quippiness and relationship between him and Paul Rudd's great in it.
Yeah.
And very funny.
Very good.
And it's a nice way of just to like for a character in a wheelchair, they push the boat out a bit, which is nice.
Yeah.
What else? Give us some more indie hits off the list.
Some what?
Indie hits off the list. Indie films.
Indie hits.
They're all. I think the rest of them are.
I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
Something said I don't feel home in this world anymore.
I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
I don't. Yeah. You're saying it so weird. Yeah.
I don't feel at home in this world anymore.
You don't?
No. I love that title. I loved that title the first time I heard it. I was like, oh, that's so good.
Do you reckon they got it from the song? Cause that's
I feel like they got it from you.
That's mean. Another indie film. I don't know what to say. It's funny. It's a comedy. It's bizarre, but it's great.
Dark, and they do a lot well.
Yeah.
They do. There's a lot of instances where you go, yeah, that's exactly what people would do, or that's exactly how I would want to behave in that situation. And it's worth watching for Elijah Wood anyway, and whatever her name is that I've forgotten as well, she's very good in it. This is one of the best things I've ever seen her in. She's very good. She's always a bit part, and I'm glad that she got a chance to be at the forefront of this film because she's very good.
Get out. That will do for that.
Our Souls at Night.
Our Souls at Night.
Not Our Souls at Night, because it sounds like something else, obviously.
Our Souls at Night.
Our Souls at Night.
The film is called Our Souls at Night.
Our Souls at Night. Yeah.
Which is Robert Redford. And
Jane Fonda. Jane.
It's a nice little film. I enjoyed it. It's cute because it's a romance about old people.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's a nice, refreshing. It's not about teenagers. It's not about people in their middle age. It's not about children. It'd be kind of strange.
It's quite
about
nice.
old people,
yeah, and it's nice as well because
person.
it's kind of what happens after most films.
Yeah.
Most films show you sort of like the lead up.
What we can say about that? That's not really spoiler. It's people who have been married and divorced and.
Well, no, they're both widowers, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they both live alone, and they want. This isn't a spoiler. This is just the first 2 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, about wanting to have him come over to sleep at her house because they struggle to sleep by themselves. It's really lovely. It's a lovely. And actually, what I really liked about it as well is because is that a lot of the problems that they have are problems that you would have when you were younger, and it's kind of interesting. Those problems never go away, like people talking, people gossiping about him going round there.
It must be quite a small neighbourhood. It's quite funny because the neighbours see him and it spreads quite a lot. So they must be in the town. Although they're all old people, so again they would be circulating in the same kind of places. So yeah, I guess
it's nice. It's a lovely little film.
And some
lovely performances as well. They haven't lost the touch.
I like Robert Redford, but I love him in Winter Soldier, so it's great in that. It's one of those kind of films. It's a nice, relaxing film where it's just about a relationship. But I like a lot of these films like Patterson now, where they're just really mundane.
Yeah, and
Lady Bird is very much that as well. Yeah. Just literally somebody's life. They're not like dramatising it.
Do you know what I really liked about this as well?
What?
Is that I think there's a lot of tendency for just in society and what just people's thoughts in general, that sort of once you reach a certain age you kind of become a bit invisible and that you and there's kind of this sort of weird feeling that these people haven't lived a life and that they've never had any problems or they don't have any problems and
unless they're a gritty veteran
exactly. But it just showed kind of how they're still the same people that they've always been. They just look older now, but they still have all those. They carry all the same things with them. Because they
feel like old people in this. They do feel.
But I just mean that they carry all those things from when they were younger with them. It still shapes the people, and it still shapes the way that they talk to each other and they interact with each other, and they still have stuff going on in their
the way they talk about their past is interesting because you can imagine it being real lives that they've lived in this film, which is also very good in the film too.
They definitely felt like characters that have lived. It was lovely. It was a good.
So go watch Our Souls at Night.
Put it on at night time as well. It's very nice. Our Souls
Get
at
your
Night.
butts out at night and watch it.
Heard it here first. Our Souls at Night. We've only got one left, I think.
No, we haven't got Meyerowitz stories. I was going to say we could do next because we're saying about watching films that are just stories of people's life.
Oh no, I was going to say something else as well and I've forgotten.
Oh bloody hell, you and your...
I can't remember.
The Meyerowitz stories is an interesting one and a big one on there. Probably one of the highest rated films on there when I was looking at a list of top Netflix films.
Yeah.
I think Mudbound's usually first. This is up there, as is Okja, which are like always the top three in the list I was looking at. The Meyerowitz stories is interesting because it's Ben Stiller and Adam Sandler, not the most two popular faces in Hollywood or just in film. I have no issue with Ben Stiller. I love the fact he directed Walter Mitty and Tropic Thunder, I love both those films.
Everyone knows we love one.
I don't mind Ben Stiller. I think he can be a bit repetitive, but he's fine. I don't watch a lot of the crap that he does do. I don't watch it because it's a lot of stuff he does is for children or for young ages. Adam Sandler, I'll be honest, like you said, he's not terrible.
No.
But he made some bad choices with films.
Just makes bad choices, and he makes some silly films.
That's obviously the whole legacy of he did when he did Happy Gilmore, how much everyone loved that. I really like Click, which gets slashed, but I like to Click a lot. I don't think he's a bad actor at all. I think he is good. I just think he does some terrible comedies.
Yeah.
Saying that, I didn't like that he shouted in this film. It's not a spoiler. When he shouts like one word. He does it like 3 times, and at the start it's quite funny when he's in the car. But there's 2 times. There's a really weird bit where I forgot to say to you when we watched the film. He just shouts one word. I'm like, what is happening? He's there at a table and he just goes,
that.
Yeah!
I love that.
I was like, what the fuck?
I love that.
I did one of the first times.
Because I know what bit you're talking about, and I can't remember what he shouted, but I loved it because it was almost like that thing of like you just want to get the whole sentence out without shouting, but you can't help it. It's just like
I know, but I don't remember it being. It felt really odd, and I can't remember what it was, so I can't really comment much on it. I just remember it felt like it was just one word. He just went, "Hi."
The only thing I didn't like about him shouting is it reminded me of some of the more poop stuff he's done.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I didn't like it.
He shouts in everything.
Yeah, I think it's more why I didn't like it when he shouted. This film's great.
He is good in it, though. He's very good in it. They're all really good in it.
What makes this film great again is the way it's written, the characters, how the characters are written, how the the idea of a family tree is done in terms of it's not generic, like our arseholes at night. I'm pushing to say arseholes at night now, like butts at night.
You don't even need to say it like you're saying arse. You can just say arseholes at night, and it still sounds like arseholes.
Buttholes at night. There you go. It's better. Just got buttholes at night.
Yeah, sure.
Got some funny posters.
How old do you? Come on.
Yeah, the family sort of relationships in this are written so well, and it's interesting how it's told because it's like a sort of anthology of short stories that all connect but follow the same characters. Like it's sort of. It's a shame because they follow. The one thing that's a bit of a shame is they follow Ben Stiller and they follow Adam Sandler, the 2 brothers, but then they don't follow the sister. All she gets is this is her story, and she tells a short story in the woods. Isn't a spoiler saying that. So don't look at me like that, for God's sake, people.
God. That's weird.
It's a shame she didn't get more time because I found her interesting.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I'd like to know more and have her conversations with her dad and having her conversations with her.
I totally agree.
Family. Not much else to say about this. You got anything else to say about this?
No, just...
Again, great performances, storytelling is
so
great.
well written, it's unbelievable.
It'd be really nice. This is the problem. It's trying to get... It'd be really nice to have stories like this kind of written characters mixed in with good sci-fi concepts more often and good sort of fantasy concepts.
Yeah.
I think that's where the dividing line is with blockbusters, especially these Netflix ones, is they write big... world-ending stories or world sort of challenging
stories. It's almost
stories.
like you think, well, people will be concentrating so much on this big event, they're not going to care how it's written, which is totally untrue.
Yeah, this is very much because it can work.
That's why you like Signs so much.
Yeah, you think it's Slate again?
Because they feel like a proper family and they're good characters, and then there's the sci-fi on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else have we got on the list?
The last one we saved because it's our favourite. Let me just double check. Yes, did that one. Yeah. It's the last one.
It's the last one. Save the last till best. What is it? Save the last till best, I just said.
That was upsetting.
Save the best till last. What did you just do?
Nothing.
Why did you say that was upsetting?
Well, I said it the wrong way around. You said it the wrong way around. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's about the same quality as this film, so...
Yeah. Baby boy, hold on tight, I'm gonna get you before the night, or something like that.
Through the night.
Yeah.
Through the night.
Yeah.
Pretty sure there's a bit like that in the
so
song
we
as well.
need to
Kidnap.
Kidnapped.
Halle Berry did a film.
If you want a masterclass in writing, acting, cinematography, story,
everything,
watch
Kidnapped. This film is worth watching for how terrible it is.
Yeah.
In a sense that it will make you laugh of how terrible it is.
It's like Room.
It's funny that Netflix brought it.
Not Room.
The Room, yeah. It's horrendous, and I hope they make a film like they did for The Room. I hope they make a film about how this was made because it's hilarious. I don't know why Netflix brought it. Maybe it was quite cheap and they thought. I bet quite a lot of people have watched, but I bet quite a lot of people watched it and not to name names, but I know someone who watched it and went, "Oh, really, it's really good actually."
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. Go watch it because it's funny for
Yeah.
being terrible, and it's amazing.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Tell me if we can't do this or if it's going to take too long. But what we'll do is at the end of this podcast, just when the little menus come up, we'll just play a little bit of the end song for you. Can we do that?
Copyright.
Your copyright.
Especially because we're on iTunes.
Okay, I'll sing it then. Is that copyright?
No. That's not. You can sing it.
I'll sing it at the end.
For the night.
Yeah.
With pictures of Halle Berry with her real son as well. Let's not forget that. This film's about.
Oh yeah. That's not a real son.
I thought it was her real son at the end in the pictures.
I don't think so. I think it's a fake boy. Not a fake boy.
A fake boy.
He's a real boy. He's a real boy.
She gets Pinocchio.
It's like a little bear and a puppet.
Yeah. Anyway, it's quite funny because the film ends with pictures of Halle Berry with this kid. I thought it was her real son. Are you sure it's not her real son in this film? That'd be fucking hilarious because the film's about her son getting kidnapped, and so at the end it's about pictures of her and this boy with this badass song playing, this kick-ass song. It's so great. Go watch it. We should probably stop with the films there. So to conclude, yeah, Netflix. There's your list. Go find out whether to watch this or not. We've said
watch your own films, you lazy.
Most of we've actually enjoyed all of these other than Bright. Cloverfield Paradox is meh, but we still watched it because it's Cloverfield.
Did we talk about Bright?
We did it on our first episode back, didn't we?
No, I'm saying today.
Ooh. Yeah, a little bit. And also Mute we couldn't last. What's annoying, the hook for Mute and Bright and Cloverfield Paradox, they all had a hook, which is annoying. We didn't watch, even though we knew they were going to all be terrible.
Yeah.
Because we watched them all quite late after they come out. We watched Bright out of curiosity because it was the first Netflix blockbuster. We watched Cloverfield Paradox because it was Cloverfield and we wanted to carry on with that universe because we enjoy the Cloverfield universe and all the theories. Yeah. And then we watched Mute because it was Duncan Jones and we love Moon.
Yeah.
They all had kind of a hook on them. What was funny with Mute is we were kind of like, oh, we've watched Annihilation. Let's do a Netflix episode. We should watch Mute. That was a recent one. We should watch Mute.
What a terrible idea. I can't get through this. Let's turn it off. We nearly did that with Bright.
Yeah.
Also, just heads up, I can't sing it at the end because I can't find the lyrics. So you're going to have to go and find it yourselves.
Alright, go to that. Search up type in Kidnap.
I think it's called Relentless, Baraka May, featuring Danny J and...
What? Halle Berry?
Pimper Pump. I can't even read that. Pim Pam Pums.
I'm gonna get you
through the night. That can't be real.
Why?
Relentless, Baraka May featuring Danny J and Pim Pam Pums.
That sounds pretty hella tight to me, if I'm honest.
That's hella tight. That's all we should have said about this film. Is it's hella tight. Any news you care to share on the news? News. Let me do it, or I'll kill you.
Oh, sorry, go for it.
News. I can't believe you.
I think I found it. I'm just gonna play it.
You can't. I've got it here. No, I've got the thing. You said we couldn't play it.
It's called We Are Heroes of the Life.
Well, what's this then that I've got? Hang on. Angle.
Of the Life. That's really. We Are Heroes of the Life.
Oh. What's this? This isn't right.
That's it. Put it back towards the start. Or is that the start?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It starts rapping, doesn't it? Stop anymore.
So good.
Just checking that isn't.
It is featuring Danny J and Pimper Pums. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Hella tight.
Hella tight.
What's the time for? What's the time for?
I've already done it twice.
Do it again.
News. That's good.
The news is pretty much distinguished this week for one thing.
It's what?
We don't have time for all the news. Alright, that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh right, yeah. No. There's not much. There's not
it's
much
wiped
to
away.
say anyway.
This news is smashed. Infinity War trailer.
Infinity War trailer.
Let's not go into all the theories because we've spent enough time talking.
Yeah, and I'm very. Let's just say, great trailer, and we're very excited about it.
But I think what's going to happen.
Let's break it down. And also, Fantastic Beasts trailer.
Avengers. I'm going to play that on the radio now.
Fantastic bees.
If I asked you what this was the music for, what would you say? Ready? Keep talking.
Well, no, because it still sounds like you can't. It still sounds like Harry Potter.
No, it does.
It does.
It's the Harry Potter theme, but it sounds like Avengers.
It's just a bit more epic. It's like a.
I am.
It's just a bit of more of a mix of the two, I would say. Oh yeah. No, it does. You're completely right. It sounds like Avengers. Yeah. Well, excuse me. Yeah, no, you're right. That's enough, thanks. Oh, no more.
I can't. Reminds me of that bit.
Yeah.
This bit.
Yeah.
Someone's got to edit that and put those together.
Yeah.
Funny.
Me. Yeah. Great trailer. Very excited. It's going to be a good one.
Fantastic Beasts.
No. I've gone back. You've confused me now.
Yeah, it's great. Should we end it there and start the next podcast?
Yeah, sure.